You know what's faster than a Ford Mustang? The rate of General Motors recalls. That's just a joke I found online. I have nothing against GM or Ford. I've seen this in the shop several times now, but Greenlight's quality control is quite lacking. So I've had to pass on this model 2 or 3 times. But a few months later, some new stock must have come into my local shops, and I picked up this one. It still has some QC issues I can see in the blister, but, well, we're going to take a look. Home Improvement was an old TV show. I used to watch it every now and then. I thought it was alright. I know XLT Off-Road Bear reviewed this car, this exact model, as well, so you want to check out his channel. He's in my subscriptions. But, let's see here. Some information I found about this Mustang is supposed to be the 3rd generation, which I believe were available between 1978 and 1993. It was either a 2.3 liter inline 4 for the base models, but the GTs would have a 4.9 liter V8. And I think it was making like 220 horsepower, somewhere in that ballpark. Rear wheel drive only. Okay, so I did find a picture of these emerald green cars. And the wheels on this one, I don't know, maybe XLT Off-Road Bear or you Mustang fans, were these an optional wheel package? They're not the Mustang GT wheels I remember when I was back in high school. You know, these are a little bit more angular or narrow, I suppose you could call it. Alright. Let's try the side view, get the general proportions. Yeah, I almost feel these must be aftermarket wheels on this car, but they just coincidentally match these Greenlight wheels quite well. Right? What do you guys think? Here's a rear view with the wheels I do recall. You know, they're a little bit fatter. Right? So that's what I remember, but I'm not sure if Greenlight was modeling after the original car or the first 2 photographs. Here's the Home Improvement one, by the way, and it's running the wheels that I recall, the fatter spoked ones. So, oh well, no big deal. I think the wheels they're okay anyways. So let's take a look at the paint here. This emerald green, it's metallic, looks pretty nice. Yeah, as you know, I'm not a big fan of this panel gap stuff, but we got some raised casted in mirrors, wiper blades, but they're kind of weird because the blade is sitting on the top of the hood. Alright, they had to do that because this is plastic. It's weird, right? I don't know if it would have been better to have the blades on the molding here and maybe just the arms on here. Anyways, a little bit of vent detail there. It's not very sharp though, to be honest with you. Paint's alright. It's a little orange peely, but Greenlights aren't very expensive models, so it's okay. The two-tone effect here seems alright. It seems like the whole car was painted green and then they probably painted this on top of it. On this side of the car, the separation is quite good. The sharp break between the green and this gray. There's a molded in crease here. I thought for a second it was black. It looks like it's a black line on the video camera, but it's actually a physical crease in the casting, so it's shadow that's creating that effect. 5.0 right there. The casted in door handle is kind of like recessed but sticking out as well, so it's pretty nice. Here's the lock. It's a bump here sticking out. Fuel filler. Alright, yeah, I think all Greenlights roll, or they're at least supposed to roll. The side blocks do look a little bit more truck to me than road car. They seem a little bit too pronounced in my opinion. But from the bottom, the treads do look nice. And this one is press fit together. Greenlight has all the good information you want. Who made it, when it was made, I don't know where it was made, but I think they all say China, right? But in particular, I like the fact that Greenlight writes the year of the car. So I know this is a 91 Mustang GT, It's very specific, so it's very helpful. Especially when you have, lines like the Mustang that have been around for decades. Okay, as you notice, these tires are a little bit messed up, so hopefully I can fix those. Alright, this side looks alright. There's also, I think, maybe Mustang printed on this window. Let's see if it's legible. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's some small text. A dental pick, right? You could floss your teeth with that font. Black out of the window there is alright, and the paint is also carrying on to the casting. Blobby mirrors, yeah, they're not bad, I guess. They're somewhat like the real ones. Oh, I didn't expect paint, but there is some silver paint in the mirrors as well. Okay. Yeah, a little casting, either casting or a paint problem there. Alright, the wheels themselves, you know, they have the 5 lug nut holes. Yeah. And then, well, that's kind of weird. There are 5 on this, but look at this Mustang photo. The Mustang is running 4 lug nuts. I would have guessed it would have had 5, but that photo doesn't lie, right? So, maybe these... You guys with a lot of Greenlights, have you seen these wheels on another vehicle before? I'm gonna guess maybe they made these for a different car, and then they just stuck them on here because they kind of look like those photographs. But obviously the lug nut quantity is a bit off. Alright, so this is the quality I saw. The problem here, that taillight is not in. It's nice that it's clear plastic and it's got a, you know, printing on it, and it's white and black printing, so it's mimicking the louvers pretty well. But no license plate, key thing there. And then on this side, well, look at it again. The thing is totally crooked on this side. The rear wing is a separate piece. Third brake light seems okay. Little contaminant in the paint there. Some blackout on the windows there. Yeah, it's a nice wing. So, yeah, I guess, you know, at this price range, I'm kind of used to seeing press fit together bases. It would be great, though, if they could, you know, have all the models screwed together so we can go and fix this easily. But now, you're asking, you know, I would have to drill this apart in order to fix those taillights. So, which I don't think I'm going to bother doing. I was hoping I could just press it in further. So that's too bad. QC problems. I think there's supposed to be some silver paint on this lock, but it's hitting everything around the lock. So, alright, the front though, it's nice to see the you know, clear lenses here, painted turn signals there, a little silver behind the lens. Yeah, the fit and finish is a bit lacking, you know. That's a pretty big gap right there next to this lens. It's not good. This side's a lot better. And what's great is you actually have some clear lenses for the fog lights. So there's 6 pieces of plastic mimicking the lights here. There's no texture in this vent here. It's just smooth, but it's dark, so it looks good. Ford logo seems alright. Yeah, it's probably legible. Yeah, it's good. Look at that. You can read Ford, so that's nice. Yep. Alright, well, let's get to the part I don't like. At least it opens, so that's nice. And it opens a realistic amount. I hate how if you're going to have a hood and then the hood's only open like that much, right? But this one actually opens nicely. And yeah, I guess, you know, for people that love engines, Greenlight's one of the better brands because they actually have depth to their engines, like the air next to the cylinders, heads, and the block and all that stuff, right? Yeah, but whatever, it's just kind of boring for me. It seems unnecessary because it ruins the appearance of the outside. Alright, well, let's see underneath. Some tiny little exhaust tips casted into the base. But that actually seems realistic. You don't see the exhaust on the back of the Mustang, so... alright. Okay, well, I guess for the price it's alright. I'm hoping maybe someone will do this particular Mustang in a premium format, like a Kyosho level. But we'll have to see what happens. For me, this is like the Mustang, because this is the Mustang that people drove when I was back in high school. You know, when I first had my driver's license, I think I went two or three kids from my school had this Mustang when we were in high school, and they felt pretty fast. They were pretty cool. Alright, let's put in front of this photo. Again, scraping my monitor. Alright, so let's see. I only have 4 Mustangs in my collection, so we'll start with this old one here. Another Greenlight. It's the 1965 GT350. I know that because Greenlight writes the information on the bottom. Fantastic. Let's see. 2 Kyoshos coming up. This next one's a 1969 Boss 302. Alright. And then this next one is a 1979 Mach 1, also by Kyosho. So at this point in time, I want to show the overhead shot here. Now, so that reddish Mustang, the hood panel gap isn't so bad. It's not too bad at all, actually. But for me, I just prefer the Kyoshos because all the gaps look consistent. Right. And then the problem with the this older Greenlight is it has the painted on headlights and it just looks like it's possessed, like Christine, so it's a weird looking model. But the Kyoshos always run plastic headlights and taillights in most instances, so I think those are the best Mustangs out there as far as, you know, overall appearance. For me, I prefer the Kyoshos. But here's a modern brand. This is the GT4 from Tarmac Works Global. So I think that's a nice model too, because again, plastic lights front and rear, and then no panel gaps at all. So I like that one quite a bit. But I still prefer the Kyosho ones, mainly because I prefer the classic Mustangs, I think, over the modern ones. I like the classic cars, guys. Alright, well, anyways, let's give this thing its fair time of spinning on its own. So, Greenlight, I think it's not bad. Your quality control is still an issue for me. I mean, in this case, it's the tires. They're definitely not very round. But the big problem is those taillights. I can't fix them unless I drill it apart. So it's unfortunate. And I'm going to back up actually because I'm now seeing a colorful interior. I didn't even pay attention to that before. So let's take a look. It's definitely worth looking at, I think. You got gray seats, nicely molded steering wheel. Like, look at the column. It's pretty thin. Yeah, it's not thick like a Hot Wheels. All those vents, all those buttons there. So nice interior, really nice. Some ribbing on the seats. So yeah, that's another great thing about, you know, a lot of Greenlights. They actually put some effort into the interiors instead of, well, the Kyoshos. As much as I like the outside of the Kyoshos, they just have plain black plastic, and it gets boring after a while. So, all right, guys. Well, sorry for you GM owners about that joke, but if you're not against Fords, this Mustang might be worth picking up for you guys. Two-tone paint's pretty nice. You know, or if you really love home improvement. Alright, I'll see you guys the next time I have another Greenlight. See ya.